An Air Force general is claiming that he has evidence that U.S. soldiers were killed attacking a secret CIA facility in Germany that was harvesting ballots in an attempt to commit election fraud and confirm Joe Biden as president of the United States. I can't believe I just had to say that. I can't believe that I just had to say that. Like, the fact that this is from a general gives it headline potential. This is a headline news story, okay? So this is General Thomas McInerney, who you might have heard before on TV. He's gone on to become, he's retired, but he's gone to become a political correspondent. He is claiming that U.S. Special Forces operation on a CIA computer facility in Germany that was hiding information about a massive covert effort to flip votes from President Donald Trump to his opponent, Joe Biden, he has evidence of it, and he's saying it happened and getting people spun up about this. Now, just to be clear right off the bat, the government is completely denying that this is a real thing. They're just saying it's just not a thing at all. It's total fiction, okay? That's what the government is saying. Now, during state testimony where I think Rudy Giuliani was questioning one of the state voter representatives about was voter information streaming from voter sites where polling machines were connected to the internet to Frankfurt, Germany, and they did answer yes. So election officials did answer yes, that did happen, which just lends more attention to this insane story. And even crazier, to go on to make it even crazier, he's also suggested that the service members who were killed in that helicopter crash a couple weeks ago, were also downed by CIA operatives protecting Democratic candidate Joe Biden, and somehow this was all related to the election fraud. Now, to me, this is irresponsible of the general to do. He is in a position of leadership where making claims like this, if they are not true, and I don't think that they're true, there is no reason to think that they're true. There is no missing Special Forces members. There's no families missing their loved ones this Thanksgiving. There's no reporting of anything like this having happened from anywhere to then come out and say this. So let me pull up the website here. There is no further evidence, zero evidence that this operation took place or anything like it than him saying so. Okay, so let's start with that. So Army Times reports, in his unfounded version of events, U.S. Special Operations Forces died in an attack on a CIA computer facility in Germany that was hiding information about a massive covert effort to flip votes from President Donald Trump to his opponent, Joe Biden. But even though Big Army and U.S. Special Operations Command have told Military Times that there was no such attack or loss of life, retired Air Force Lieutenant General Thomas McInerney is sticking by his claims. They have become so widely distributed on social media that numerous accounts on Twitter falsely claimed that 5 soldiers killed in the Sinai helicopter crash were really killed in the firefight with the CIA. Which, by the way, if you guys remember that story that I reported on last week or 2 weeks ago, they were part of a peacekeeping mission with a World Peace Organization. I don't remember exactly who it was, but definitely not a combat mission on their helicopter crash. McInerney, in an email to Military Times, did not offer any more information regarding the sources of what he told a conspiracy-laden website over the Thanksgiving holiday, nor did he respond to the Army statements about their falsehood. He did, however, double down on his claims. This is a quote from McInerney. President Trump won in a landslide, and the Dems left so many footprints that this treason must be stopped, he told Military Times. This will be the last free election we have, and I predicted it on 2 November on the Steve Bannon Show. Thomas McInerney was once a highly respected military leader who became the Air Force Assistant Vice Chief of Staff. So let's just think about this for a second. This guy had to reach that position of power within the Air Force. Now, if he's prone or inclined to suggest these types of events taking place, if they're not true, and I'm operating under the presumption that they're not true because there's no reason to think that they are true, but I'm just going to leave my bias out of it as far as the reporting goes, then the Air Force did not pick up on this guy being this way and put him in one of the highest ranking positions in the whole military. In all of the military, there's a handful of people who ever reached the height that he had reached. So that's just something to think about. Like, how could the Air Force put this guy in this position if he's a wacko conspiracy theorist, if that's the case? Now, I'm not going to say it is the case, although I will tell you I think it is. I'm just going to continue asking these questions. So he graduated from the U.S. Military Academy in 1959 and later earned a master's degree in international relations. He was a West Point graduate. He joined the Air Force and flew more than 400 combat missions during the Vietnam War. He earned honors, including the Distinguished Service Medal, Defense Superior Service Medal, a bunch of other. So he's a war hero. He served in Vietnam. He's a pilot. He conducted tons of combat missions. Not going to take anything away from him there. He assumed his role as the Air Force Assistant Vice Chief of Staff in July 1992, and then somehow went off the rails. After retiring, McInerney spent more than 16 years as a military analyst for Fox News. He was fired from the network in 2018, according to the Arizona Republic newspaper, after inaccurately claiming during an appearance on Fox Business Network that torture worked on John McCain, who endured a brutal 5.5 years as a prisoner of war in North Vietnam. The comments about McCain were among a string of false and controversial statements made by McInerney, according to the writer Jack Murphy, a Green Beret and Ranger veteran. So Jack Murphy says that here are some claims made by General McInerney. He claimed Malaysian Flight 370, if you guys remember that flight, famously disappeared several years ago, and it took a long time for them to find any evidence of where it crashed, was hijacked and flown to Pakistan. He claimed we needed to go to DEFCON 4 just because. Oops, did not mean to click on that. Advocates massive airstrikes in a dozen nations. He is a fake news machine. And that's by Jack Murphy, who is a Green Beret and Ranger veteran. So now, this is the latest in a string of kind of out there claims by General McInerney. A new military flavor conspiracy claims emerged over the weekend in connection to the widely debunked Dominion election fraud theory, which claims that voting machines deleted votes for President Trump or switched votes to Biden. That theory gained widespread traction when Trump, without verifiable evidence, amplified its claims. And then there's all these other theories. Now, the only thing I'll say here is that having listened to some of the depositions during different state trials that has been going on, a state representative, and I believe it's from Arizona, did testify that polling machines were hooked up to the internet, which is against policy, and that there were streams of that information going to Germany. They testified that. So I'm just going to leave that there, okay? Then I did find some other information that in another article saying that when it comes to these claims that political fraud was conducted out of Germany, and the claim that the Army raided the office of this. So here's ultimately what they're saying is the Army raided offices in Frankfurt that belong to the company SCYTL, SCYTL, to seize servers that had evidence of voting irregularities on the election. Now, the Army. So let's start there. The Army, as well as SCYTL, this company, who is known as being like the world leader in intelligence on election and polling machines, do not have offices or servers in Frankfurt, Germany. So they're saying that. And I'm just going to leave that information there. That's what they're saying. So social media servers or users Saturday were sharing reports published by conservative websites claiming that their servers revealed wrongdoing in the U.S. election and that they had been confiscated by U.S. military forces in Germany. Most posts said the servers belonged to the software company SCYTL, I hope I'm saying that right, which is based in Barcelona, and some suggested the servers housed information from Dominion voting systems. The false claims followed a Zoom call this week that featured Republican Representative Louis Gohmert of Texas, suggesting that U.S. Army forces had seized servers from a Frankfurt office of the software company SCYTL, which, and again, I'll repeat again, the Army outright denies. In his remarks, which were widely shared on social media, Gohmert acknowledged that the information about the alleged raid only came from a German tweet in German, and he said, "I don't know the truth." The Associated Press reached out to Gohmert's spokesperson but did not hear back. For his recorded remarks, Gohmert said that he had heard from former intel people that SCYTL maintained data that could be gleaned to prove Republican votes had been changed to Democratic ones on the November 3rd election. But according to the company, Citadel does not tally votes, nor is there credible evidence Republicans' votes were changed to Democratic votes in the election. I don't know. George Papadopoulos, a former Trump campaign advisor who pleaded guilty in the special counsel Robert Mueller probe, tweeted on Friday afternoon, breaking, Congressman Louis Gohmert stated that the U.S. Army has seized servers for Dominion in Germany. When asked by the Associated Press if the Army had engaged in an operation to recover servers in Germany, an Army spokesperson responded Saturday, those allegations are false. Citadel also refuted the claim as the fake conspiracy spread online. The company released a statement Friday titled, Fact-Checking Regarding U.S. Elections Debunking Fake News. In a statement, Citadel said, we do not have servers or offices in Frankfurt. The U.S. Army has not seized anything from Citadel in Barcelona, Frankfurt, or anywhere else. It also says Citadel does not tabulate, tally, or count votes in the U.S. It goes on to say that the president and general manager for Citadel's U.S. division told the AP, the Associated Press, the company had a temporary connection to Frankfurt last year. Backup servers in Frankfurt were used for a specific project for the European Parliament in 2019. These backup servers were closed in September 2019. When it comes to U.S. elections, though, Citadel products sold to U.S. customers are fully housed in the U.S. utilizing Amazon Web Services and have never been housed in Germany. It gets deeper and crazier. Like the fact that they did track streams from Arizona to Germany to Frankfurt add to the conspiratorialness of this story, and they did testify that. So. Then, but the Army denies it, and then additionally, the William Barr, the Attorney General, said that there is no evidence of widespread fraud. Nobody has reported this operation actually happened. Nobody is saying that this is a real thing, except for this general, and it's been suggested by another congressman. It was a Godel, Gohmert. So it's just insane. And then McInerney, the general who is originally credited here with breaking this story, has given it the legs that it has now to become this like giant story, because if a 3-star general of the military reports something is true, then you would think that they would be privy to such information and that their honor and service and dedication to duty would prevent them from lying or spreading any false information. So I can see why a story like this would take off, but to me, it makes no sense, because if this happened and if SF members were killed, wouldn't there be a trail of family members missing loved ones, wondering where they are? Wouldn't there be reports coming out of Germany instead of one single tweet that was in German? But then the fact that there was anything at all is suspicious. Like, why did anything come out of anywhere? Why didn't anyone start spreading this story? Like, where does it come from? Is it just totally gleamed out of someone's imagination and then it spread, or what is going on? So they say U.S. Special Forces Command seized a server farm in Frankfurt, Germany, because they were sending this data from those 6 states through the internet to Spain and then into Frankfurt, McInerney told House. Special Operations Forces seized that facility, so they have those servers and they know all this data they are providing. House then asked if the seizure went down without incident, to which McInerney said, well, I've heard it didn't go down without incident, and I haven't been able to verify it. I want to be careful in that. It's just coming out, but I understand my initial report is that there were U.S. soldiers killed in that operation. Now, that was a CIA operation, so that's a very worrisome thing. House then says, but if you were saying that that was a CIA facility and that was where the server was taken from by the special forces, was a CIA facility in Germany? House asked a retired general who said, that's correct. Frankfurt, Germany, we have all this information. U.S. military officials said those allegations are false. A U.S. Special Operations Command spokesman told Military Times the command has not had a fatal incident since 2 soldiers died in a helicopter crash in California this August, and the most recent Special Forces combat deaths resulted from an insider attack that killed 2 in Afghanistan on February 8th. An Army spokesperson that denied this theory told Military Times these allegations are definitely false. This is crazy. Like, this is a crazy one. I don't know. So the false claims about the Army's role in the election put out by McInerney have gained a lot of traction. Obviously, here's somebody with a big platform who've been on national TV, but then they have a track record of saying outlandish, crazy things and supporting conspiracy theories. Says says this, and then tens of thousands of people, for instance, have taken up claim about the supposed role of the 305th Military Intelligence Battalion, reposting it even on a college football message boards and vandalizing the battalion's wiki page. One Twitter user even shared a video of a tank moving through the desert with a slowed version of The Less I Know, The Better song playing in the background, claiming it was troops from the battalion, which is obviously a fake, manipulated video. Then again, and I reiterate, a new twist on his theory says the 5 soldiers killed in a helo crash while supporting the multinational force of observers Sinai mission on November 12th were actually killed in the purported Frankfurt shootout with the CIA. Proponents of this theory, which has been shared tens of thousands of people on social media, offered no evidence. No evidence. Just remember for a second that there's no evidence this happened at all. There's only just tweets and a person with a weird track record saying that it happened. And McNary goes on to say that he's concerned about the spread of misinformation, which is interesting. Now, if more information about this comes out, I will be sure to share it. But for now, this is all that I have. It's just such a crazy story that a 3-star general, I believe he retired as a 3-star general from the Air Force, would be in the spotlight for this. Like, why would you report this as a thing that happened as the general if this was not confirmed information? Why would you do that? It's very confusing to me. And then at the same time, there's testimony from election committees that polling information was streamed to Frankfurt, and that Siddle, who is based in Barcelona, did have a connection to Frankfurt last year. So all of that is crazy. I don't think there's anything to this story because it just doesn't make any sense that there would be. There's no evidence that there is, and the Army is saying it didn't happen. The government is saying it didn't happen. Even the president has not weighed in on this, and I think he would know if something happened. So for now, I am assuming that this is totally false, fake news, so to speak. But things are crazy right now. Conspiracies are crazy right now. News is crazy right now. People are going crazy right now with this election fraud stuff. So I'm curious to see what happens next. What's going to be the next big bombshell thing to come out about all this? We will see. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button up in the corner here and check out this next video. If you want, in the description down below, there's links where you can get ScuttleButt Show merch and find out how you can support the channel. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you guys very soon.